All right. Jermel, Charlo, and Tony Harrison go at it in a press conference. Jermel says says Harrison faked an injury. Harrison called Charlo every type of O and said he crazy. And I think they both got good points. Let's talk about that great fight that's coming up in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel, subscribers. If you are not subscribed, please subscribe and hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And also when we do our live streams Monday through Friday, Boxing Talk with Fanon in the mornings, and also OG Boxing Talk Sunday, 8 a.m. Central Standard Time with KQKC, Trap House Boxing, Curtis Anderson, and my man Blood Boxing, where we wrap up the week in boxing. Great conversations. I think that you'll enjoy it with a lot of mature boxing fans. And thank you everybody in the Patreon. Look, let's get into this, man. This is a fight where two people do not like each other at all. And I'm enjoying it, man. I was saying that for the fight, well, I guess you call the boxing match, you know, the exhibition fight between the two YouTubers, Logan Paul and KSI, and I'm pretty sure I got the names right that time. Logan Paul and KSI. The thing that I gave these dudes credit for was that it was a fair fight because neither one of them could really fight, or neither one of them could really box. And they genuinely did not like each other, so it added a lot of tension, and you could tell that both of these guys were trying to hurt each other. So it was entertaining, right? Kind of like a world star street fight, or somebody getting sucker punched on a escalator, but on a what do you call it? One of those subway trains. But that's what I thought about it. But at least it was evenly matched and the guys didn't like each other. So now at a very high world class level, we get the same thing. We get a fight that is pretty evenly matched, and something where the guys cannot stand each other, which adds some tension to it. A lot of times in boxing matches, you can tell that the guys like each other, or one guy is so overmatched that even if they're talking crazy, it really doesn't make a difference because you know who's going to win the fight. Anthony Joshua demeanor at press conferences where he's like, yeah, hey, hi, we're friends. Hey, here, Andy Ruiz, hold my belt. And then Andy Ruiz is smiling. I can't wait to knock your ass out. You know, you don't get that with Tony Harrison and Jamel Charlo. You get dudes that are straight up going at each other, and you could tell, like, I'm watching the press conference and thinking the whole time that these guys might actually start fighting. Like, somebody needs to get in between these dudes before somebody just hauls off and hits the other dude. But they showed a level of maturity in the middle of their back and forth, which, you know, prevented that from happening. And I was very, very happy for that. But the things that they said were pure comedy, man, pure comedy. If you've not checked out the press conference, you must check out the press conference. It is absolutely classic. Jermel Charlo got up first because Jermel Charlo is the challenger. If you guys recall, that Jermel Charlo was the WBC 154-pound champion, and he was upset by Tony Harrison. I was surprised because I was watching the fight the whole time and thought, oh, okay, they're going to give the fight, they're going to say and still, but they didn't. They said and new. I was shocked. I still haven't really watched the fight. I haven't watched the fight again because I try not to do that. I just respect what the judges say and just kind of move on with it because we knew we were going to get a rematch. But there's a lot of people said, hey, you know, Jermel Charlo didn't win the fight. Tony Harrison won the fight. So it is what it is, right? But so Jermel Charlo gets up there as a challenger, and he points out that that Tony Harrison faked an injury because he got knocked out in sparring. And he was like, look, man, you saw what I did to Coda, and that's what I'm going to do to you. And and just let's be 100. You faked an injury to get out of that fight. Now, I thought, now I can't speak to whether or not he got knocked out in sparring or not, right? But facts are, there's some suspiciousness going on with Tony Harrison. I think it's reasonable to suspect some funny business because Tony Harrison did say that before the fight was rescheduled. He was asked in a press conference or in an interview, like, "Hey man, are you trying to get out of this fight or something?" But in answering a question, he said, "Look, if I didn't want to fight, if I don't want to take this fight, I wouldn't have to take this fight. All I got to do is fake an injury, and if I fake an injury, then the fight's off. I could go on about my business." And then that's what happened. He got injured, and the fight got called off. Not too much longer after he said that. So when you say something like that, and then that happens, it's only reasonable for people to say, that old saying, things that make you go, I mean, that made me wonder, like, all right, man. Now, Jermel Charlie says that what happened was he got knocked out in sparring. And, you're hearing a lot of this stuff lately. A lot of people are talking about how, are sharing sparring stories, not, telling exactly what happened, but he put that out there, and it's possible. It's possible he got clipped in sparring. Who knows? But I don't know what that means for this actually for this fight. So Jamel Charlie was talking about Cotto, but then Tony Harrison, man, and Tony Harrison can talk, man. Tony Harrison went off and basically said, now, just like I say that I think Jamel Charlie obviously had a point, Tony Harrison got a point too. When he said, Jermel, there's something wrong with Jamel Charlie, right? Something mentally wrong. Now, I'm not going to say something is mentally wrong with him, but I will point this out. That is the meanest dude in all of boxing. And that says a lot because there's a lot of mean dudes in boxing. People are hitting people upside the head. They got attitudes. Deontay Wilder's mean. You can tell that Deontay Wilder's got something that is, he got a little screw loose too. Because he'll go and say, hey man, I'm feeling good. And what other sport can you kill somebody and get away with it, And give this little look like, yeah, I said it and yeah, I mean it, right? Deontay Wilder clearly wants to hurt people, man. Jamel Charlie, though, is just mad all the time, dude. He's mad all the time. Every interview I hear him in, man, he's talking to somebody. It's just real quick. It's real aggressive. Like he's always wanting to slap somebody, man. I don't think I've heard Jamel Charlie speak in a way in public that I didn't feel like that he didn't put me on edge. Like, is this dude about to slap somebody? I mean, he's always going at 100, always at 100. As far as the fight goes, though, and then Jermell Charles like, man, this dude, you just so phony. You're so phony. You're so phony. Nah, man, I don't believe Jermell Charles being phony, man. I believe he means that. I believe that he really does want to hurt people. And you can see it in the fight because he's in these fights and he could outbox these guys. Of the two Charlo brothers, I think the guy that's probably got the more fluid boxing skill between the two is the smaller one, and Jermel Charlie. Jermel Charlie's got a lot of power. He's a very, very good fighter. He's got a very, very stiff jab, straight right hand, nasty uppercut that I saw from ringside. I'm telling you, man, that dude dang near takes people's heads off with those uppercuts. Jermel Charlie his skill set is to the point where he could outbox you. Like he very well could outbox Tony Harrison. Just go to a point wins. Just jab to the body, jab to the head, make Tony Harrison come to him because he's very athletic. He's got very good foot speed. But his mentality is that he just wants to beat you up. Just wants to beat you up. I don't think that he's being phony. Like his persona, I don't think there's anything phony about that. Because if it was phony, it wouldn't be like that all the time. So, they both got points. Tony Harrison looked like there was something suspect about that rolling that ankle, or it's fair to suspect some funniness because he said that he could fake an injury and get out of the fight, and then he had an injury and got out of the fight. Now, Tony Harrison said, well, I could have told Al that I didn't want the fight and gone on somewhere else. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think so. Because if you wouldn't have fought Jermel Charlo, you would have tried to fight somebody else and get out of that fight, Tony Harrison had been looking like the hoe, you know? All jokes and funny trash talking and all that stuff aside, Tony Harrison would look like the hoe. He looked like, oh yeah, you just didn't want the fight. And I don't know whether or not the PBC would have allowed that because, hey man, it was a close, controversial decision, and it's a fight that people are gonna want to see. So anyway, long story short, they both got points. I'm very excited about this fight because again, it's an evenly matched fight. We don't know for sure who's gonna win, even though I'm leaning with Jamel Charlie, and it's abundantly clear these guys don't like each other, so there's something more at stake than the belt. There really is bragging rights between these two guys, man. So anyway, it is what it is. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Really looking forward to this fight, and with that, I'm out. Peace.